And welcome back to another episode. I have here Caesar from Symphony Advertising on our first installment of, I'm going to just name it Business Talk, where it's just him and I. Well, because typically we, for one, we're brothers. I don't know if you can tell or not. We're brothers. And a lot of the times when we talk, we're literally just talking about business. We're talking about, this company or he runs an advertising agency. So what he's doing with us with his clients or what state they're in, and we just typically just on the regular talk about business. So I figured to add another type of episode to what I'm doing is to kind of just sit down with Caesar, have a few bullet points, and talk about business more in a casual tone with someone, just having a dialogue. That way you kind of see, and the goal with this is like to talk more, not just about detailers, but just like local businesses in general, and hopefully you can find different value by seeing other perspectives of what we would do or what he does or what I do when it comes to another local business. Because I know one thing that's really helped me is to look at different industries, look at different businesses, and analyze and diagnose and see like what are they doing that's getting them results and how can I apply that to my detailing business. Not so much I'm looking at detailers to see what they're doing in their detailing business. So Caesar, thank you for coming on. First
thank
episode.
You for having me. Yes, thank you.
So first and foremost, what do you do? What is the day-to-day life for Caesar?
Oh,
Caesar
nice. Got a little introduction here. So yeah, like you mentioned, we are brothers. I've been in the marketing space for like 10 years now, which is kind of crazy because I'm older now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like to get a job, you used to have like 8 years experience, and now I have it. So it's like, dang, I actually went full circle. Can I cuss here?
Yeah, for sure.
I went full circle. It's like, damn, now that I have the experience, it's like, dude, I'm never gonna go back. But yeah, I mean, I run a agency, small shop, mainly working with local services, but also some on a more medium level.
Yeah, because you do have some clients that are spending up a pretty penny on ads.
Yeah, so primarily we help build websites and Google Ads. That's like our combination. Build the website, send traffic via Google Ads. We do offer other services, but I would say that's more what I focus on a day-to-day basis. As you saw my whiteboard, I got like a handful of clients, and it's really cool. Like you were saying, like I get to see what happens in this industry, what happens in this industry, what happens when your budget's this, what happens when your budget's that. So it's cool just to see like a lot of different things on a day-to-day basis. Because honestly, I get pretty bored doing like repetitive stuff.
And actually, that question is down the line actually. But just right now, since we're on this topic already, let's say, I actually have a question there. It says, what's the difference? Like, let's say a client comes to you, right? You have a dentist that comes to you with a dental practice, and then you have a roofing company that comes to you. As far as ad spend, right? As far as like running ads, right? Like the way you talk to a client, right? It's one way because you want to talk to their specific industry, to their pain points, right? But as far as once they pay you, you're in the back end of their Facebook accounts, and you're gonna run, of Google Ads, and you're gonna run ads for them. What's the difference between running ads for a dentist versus a roofing company versus a waste management versus a landscaping business? What's the difference in running ads and the actual what do you do on the back end?
So I mean, from a macro level, like a high level, it's not different. Like it's technically all you're doing is you're trying to find people who have a problem and you're just trying to match them to the solution. So the problems are different, the solutions are different, but that's all you're trying to do. So if it's, what was the two examples?
Dentist and a roofing company.
So dentist, everybody has some kind of, like the reason someone's going to look up a dental thing is because tooth pain, right? They're going to go to Google, look up, I have a tooth pain. Then you show an ad saying, we help you with your tooth pain, to make it like super not the best copy. Mm-hmm. And if it's roofing, it might be like, I have a water leak, another problem. And so you try to match it up with, we help stop roofy leaks. So in that sense, it's all the same. If you want to take it like a level below that, it kind of depends on what it is. So like, how big is the practice? How big is the roofer? Is the roofer just getting started? Is the dental practice like these corporate level, where they're like a chain of things? Like, just like anything else, it just depends on what they come with, what they have, how experienced they are. So like some people have all the, the know-how, but they don't have any like, they're just getting started off. They have no budget to like really move the ball forward. Some people have all the money to move the ball forward because they've raised it or because they're starting a new business, but they don't know what the heck they're doing. And so you get everything. So and sometimes people are really good at talking. So sometimes I have a conversation with these people on the phone, and they have all these grand ideas, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, man, I really want to do that." And when it comes times to it, their execution is like garbage.
Yeah. So which is another touching point of like. Yeah, like for me, with like my big thing is like SEO, right? I have SEO for detailers, of course. You're primarily Google Ads, but it's like that, and this is something that I touch on the course and a few videos that you'll find is that like if you come to him, right? Not him, but like let's say anyone, like you go to someone for like, hey, can you market my business, right? Or you sign up for my course and it's like, hey, I want to learn how to do SEO. That's still only one part of the entire flow of getting a customer, because you can get all the traffic to your website or traffic through ad. They can click on your ad, they can click on the website organically, they can give you but then you can kill everything if the customer service rep, if the receptionist, if the salesperson does not actually follow through on that process and doesn't know how to communicate, doesn't follow up, doesn't give a great experience. Like you can still kill everything at that point right there.
Even setting up a web form that goes to an email that nobody checks.
I
found like after a year, it turned out that one of these websites that we built, they're like, "Hey, can you double check if the email's right?" And it was they gave us the wrong email to put on there, and it had been a year, and they were spending money on ads.
Oh man, and that's something that you'll be able to find that he's able to see quite frequently is the like just people are spending like. That's why it's never just like a one factor thing of like, oh, if I spend more money, if I go from $10 to $20 a day, right, I'm supposed to get like double the results, right? And it's like, no, because you can still have a crappy optimized campaign. You can still just be doing literally every step wrong. And just if you just look at one factor of like, oh, well, 10 to 20, I should double the results then, right? It's like, not really. If you have a crappy campaign, if your optimization is not optimized, if you go to 10, 20, 30, you're just wasting money, dude. Right? Even like as simple as that is like not putting the right email. It's like that email, all those leads have been going nowhere.
Quick example, I have this other client who they have everything set up. Conversions are set up. If you don't know what conversions are, it's how you track your ads. If you get one conversion, that means you got one call or one form, but it was set up wrong. And so their reporting, they spend like $7,000 a month or something like that. Their reporting shows like 200 conversions per month. But when I got the account and I looked into it, it's like there's nobody calling.
So what were the conversions on?
Nothing is real. So you can set up phone conversions and web form conversions are good, but then you can have other conversions that I don't know who set this up for them, but it could be like a get directions conversion. So somebody might click get directions, but their business isn't a place you visit. It could be a specific page view. So if they go to your website and they view the page, that can be counted as a conversion. But who cares if somebody clicks on an ad and just visit your page? Not a conversion. And then there was like duplicate conversions, and so just looking at it, it's like, and this is a much bigger company.
And that's the thing, like, and that's why like I try to clarify with you guys of like, man, at a lot of businesses really don't know what they're doing, right? Just through time, through like maybe they started like in 1990, maybe like they've been around so long that like they've been able to build a business to some size, but like specifically you is like you'll have these conversations with like, dude, how are you still in business? Like with the campaign that you're running, with your marketing, with like how are you still making money out of this?
Yeah, and it's good and bad because it just means that there's something else that has been driving the business. So like for that specific example, the conversions are messed up. Like I think for them it's like their referrals, word of mouth, like they've been around since like 1984 or something like that. So like they have that going for them, and if they want to. The idea is to add another channel, whether it's Google Ads, SEO, social media. If you can add more channels on top of that, then you have more streams of customers. But yeah, they're kind of botching that one specifically. But
yeah. So like if you see someone like just it's pretty simple. Where like a business, you might not just details, but like you'll see a business that's maybe running, $5,000 a month in ads, and you're saying, wow, like I'd like to get to that point. But like if they're not running an optimized campaign, if they're doing like a crappy job with it. Someone with a $2,000 budget can produce far more results if everything is done right versus the brand that's running $5,000, $7,000. Because just because you throw more money at it does not produce more results if the entire downline and upline is not optimized properly. Anyway, okay, so let me go back to the points here. So we went straight to the tangent. So yeah, so actually one thing I wanted to kind of so I ask you this question right now, even though it's further down the list. So like, how did you learn marketing to where you are now? Because one thing I want to clarify with people of like, my thing is like, look, you just can't be a detailer forever. You have to think, you have to become a marketer. You can be as much as you want to be a detailer, which is great. If you actually want to expand the business and be in control of the levers that you push and pull to generate more leads in your business, you have to become a marketer. So for you, obviously, you went to school for MIS, Management Information Systems, and you did nothing in that after you graduated.
No, couldn't get a job for it. No.
Yeah. So what was a quick 3-minute spiel of like, how did you progress?
3-minute spiel. So I did take a class called project management.
Also, you can get the camera if you want, dog.
In that project management class, the fake project was to build a website for a fake client. So I helped build this fake website for this fake client. And then in doing that, I was like, oh, I could do this, like, for real. And so in college, I started Pomegranate Group. I don't know if you remember. Yeah. We sold maybe like 4 websites. And then after we built the websites, nobody would go to the website. So it's like, okay, well, what the heck? Like, if nobody goes to the site, then it doesn't help anybody. And so that was the door that was opened. What a weird way to phrase it. To be like, oh, okay, what is this Google Ads stuff? What is this? I don't even think social media was around.
At that time, no, definitely not, no.
And then I don't know. I feel like when I had my first job for like a year and a half, doing a year and a half doing like custom ambulance building, like I was configuring how it would be put. Zero, it had nothing to do with what I went to school with. I like saved up some money and I was like, I'm gonna quit.
Oh,
and I think you referred me, like as soon as I quit, you referred me to like Noah Kagan and Neil Patel and all them, and then I just started like. Dude, but it took me like 6 years, like of jumping around, learning around, doing all these weird, odd jobs. Like they're half marketing jobs, half selling smoothies. So literally, I learned from like just trying until eventually, I remember the first campaign I set up, where it actually started getting leads, and I was like, oh, it actually worked this time.
Yeah.
So it just took a while, but there has to be better ways to get to that point, because for me it was like bam, 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 and it was like, damn, that wasn't the smartest way of going.
And that was way back when. That's when like, that was what year did you graduate?
2012.
2012. Yeah, so 2012. Yeah, at that time, yeah, it's nowhere near. Everything is much more mature at this point. With where you learn, with like with people selling online courses, with coaching, with books.
Even the market, like even now, people expect to have a website, to have social media, to have a campaign budget. Like it's been around, so like it's part of doing business. Whereas back then it'd be like you still have to convince somebody to be like, dude, this is the way to go.
Yeah, and I just pulled up an article. I don't know how accurate it is, but it says only 20% of college grads have a job related to the major, which it's like it just kind of falling on that point of like, just like most people don't actually end up doing the job that they went to school for. He went to 4 years of college, and then which it's not a bad thing, right? Like, it's not a bad thing, but just crazy, like all that money and time just to 83% of people to go and do something else that has nothing to do with the degree that they went to school for.
And like you're really lucky if you know what you want to do. Like you gotta go through like trial and error. And, okay, I like that. I don't like that. But yeah.
Okay, so now let's do a quick intermission. And actually, one thing I want to touch on, and I'll ask the same question. Well, I was gonna start talking about the NBA, but I want to go to this point right here. That's what I mean by intermission. Like let's go straight to the NBA points. No, anyways, Christian. Oh, you watched the Christian Guzman interview with Max Tuning?
I did.
Yeah. Did you see the one where he? Well, I don't know if it was. No, I'm sorry. It was another podcast episode with him with Chris Bumstead. Chris Bumstead.
I did not see that.
Okay, well, basically, he said they just asked him what advice do you have for us building the brand, and one of the things they had said was he said, I wish I would have just, like, when it comes to like buying a bigger warehouse space, or like any large investment, any large purchase. He did say, like, instead of taking these like baby steps to get to that one point, I wish I would have just took the hit in the beginning and just like grew into it. So I think what he was referring to is like the space that he had. Like instead of trying to go from like a 3,000 to 8,000, just go from I'm just making up this example. I'm sure that's what he meant. Like go from 3,000 to like a 14,000 and just make that jump and then work into that. Like it's gonna hurt in the beginning to cover that cost. And I was just relating that to like everything that we have here of like, man, like little by little I'm making these purchases because I'm just not trying to spend like that much all at once. But then it's like, then it's very true though, just because if I spend the 6,000 to get the lights and install them, if I spend the 3,000 to paint out the walls, if I spend it like right now, either way I'm going to spend, let's say, $20,000 to get everything set up. It's like, so what's the difference between spending it over the course of 6 months or 30 days? You know what I'm saying?
That's a closing tactic right there. What's the difference between
now
or in 6 months?
Yeah, but it's like, it's like
you get to use it sooner. So
that's one thing. Like even with this podcast setup, it's like, dang, I should have been done this because it just the feel of it is much better. Like the like even you said here, like man, like it looks so nice. Like it feels like an actual like production room. Like like we're actually doing a podcast. So no, when I heard him say that, I was like, dang, that is true. Obviously, that comes in phases, right? Like you can't spend that much when you're just getting started. So it comes with where you are in your business and such. But that's just one thing that really stood out to me of like I was like, damn, that's true. Like if I just spend it right now, like I can move that much faster. And it hurts in the beginning, but I could take those steps faster than
that's the importance of having like a good cash flow. Like if as long as you can make it come in. Like
now, and to piggyback off of that though, which is kind of going off topic again, is when it comes to like a client comes to you and they say like, hey, my business is not doing well, we don't have that much money, we're not getting customers, right? They're more like this desperate sin. Like you can feel that they're almost desperate. Like, hey, like if I do this, like it has to work out, right? Like I'm gonna get customers, right? Why do you think that happens, or how do you think they get to that point? Because I know a lot of things, like when someone comes to me like, hey, like my business isn't working, like I need customers, what do I do? And it's like, well, whatever you do, whether it's SEO, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's Google ads, whatever, like it's gonna take time. Like even if you have a big budget, like there's still that time to optimize it, to get it up and running, to gather data, to make those adjustments. So like even if you have the budget, okay, hey, I got 5,000 left, I could throw it to ads. It's like, yeah, but
that's a Hail Mary, dog.
Yeah, it's still a it's still a Hail Mary no matter which way you look at it. So it's like when someone comes to you, like how do you kind of address that, or do you even take on that client that's like, hey, like I'm just not, like this, like I said, like it's a Hail Mary. Like how do you look at that client, right? And like as much as you want to help them, you're like,
yeah. So there's a couple factors because sometimes if someone's reaching out, they went like 3 years without ever reaching out because they wanted to save every penny. Mm-hmm. And when the time comes, it's like, okay, well now I last effort, I'm gonna try to spend my way out of this. But okay, I don't know what the order is, but like number one, what I look at is, okay, is this person like I don't know if the word is smart enough, but do they have it in them? Like, is there something wrong with the way they operate? Because sometimes they're just bad operators, or they're just bad dentists, or they're just bad business people. It's like, oh, okay, you have a dental practice and you took out a God knows how big of a loan to get your practice set up, to get your employees, to get your phone software, your computers, all that. You went to school for 8 years, and throughout this whole entire time, after 10 years of getting educated and doing all that, now you're at a point where you need to get patients in your chair. It's like, oh, dude, there's like, what can I do? Okay, so there's that, right? Sometimes it's area. So like if you're, I had this client in New York who was a dental practice. He's like, hey man, I don't understand. Like it's super dense. Everybody here needs a dentist. What's going on? So I look into it, and then I pull up his building. His building looked like where people go to die. It was just like, dude, you know what your problem is? Your building is a dungeon.
Yeah.
And so it's like, even if you did all the marketing right, even if there was like no competitors, and you say, hey, with the $100 we can get you a new client, and you sell them on a $4,000 service, it's like, dude, people just don't want to go in that building. And then there's some people, like I think the biggest one is like, oh, okay, this guy just doesn't know what he's doing. That's the one that keeps me away. If it's like, but then sometimes you get to people who like they have traction already. They're just their level of about to go into death is like at a higher level. So like they'll be getting conversions, they'll be getting calls, they have business going on. there's just like a lot of inefficiencies. So like for instance, that $7,000 one, it's supposed to be a bigger, but it's not big. They're a big company, but I mean, I have smaller clients that spend more than that. Like they should be spending a lot more, like 40 grand or something. Yeah. That would make sense for a corporate level business in their industry. Some of them is just inefficiencies. So like, let's say out of that 7,000 that they're spending, dude, I have to say maybe $500 of that gets to like a customer, the right person.
Yeah.
Most of that money is just going to like God knows what, some random guy in Cuba, clicking an ad. I don't know where they're going. So some of that's inefficiencies. But dude, just like everything, it's like it just depends. But for the most part, we don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, because
too much of a
so because you see the difference between someone that has like different marketing channels working for them, and they're like they want to stack one against like the other ones that they have, and it's like okay, they have the cash flow in place, they already understand who their customers are, or not even that, but like they're in a better position to make a clear decision, right? Whereas when that ship is already sinking and you're just starting to throw every lifeboat out there before it falls, it's like the decision, your mental fog in your head just like clouds every decision, and you're just like, dude, this has to work, like it's gonna work, and that also just leads to a bad client of like, right? Because every dollar spends like, hey man, like it's $5 and I still have my phone hasn't rang yet.
From an agency side, because like if they're kind of like Hawkeyeing it, like okay, hey, we trust you. Here's the little money we have. What did you do with it? How come no calls are coming in? And it's like at that point, it's like.
Yeah, and that's another great point too. Detailers were like most of us. Just the reality is like I don't know much detailers that are spending more than a couple $100 a month in ads, right? Like it's not a norm to see a detailer spend $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. Like at least to my experience, I have not seen someone up to that level spending that much. And it's like, and again, this is across any business of that, like whether it's detailers or a venue event place or a dental practice or a chiropractor, it's like, man, $10 a day that doesn't take you that far. Especially if you're in a competitive space, like it doesn't travel that far. And if you talk about lawyers, if you talk about like roofers or contractors, like those costs per clicks are really, really high. So like if you're a lawyer, and let's say even the personal injury space, it's like if you can't spend about $100 to $300 a day in clicks, right? Like you're not getting any traction because that is such a high competitive ad space. So we're like, you need a big budget. So like what I'm saying is like with any business, if they come to you or if I talk to them and they're like, hey, I have $400 to spend per month, like what can I do with that? It's like, look, it's great. That's a starting point, but don't think you're just about to get flooded with leads and customers, because depending in your area, in your market, the services, the price point, your sales team, your team, whatever, it's like that might not get you that far. It'll get you something. Don't get me wrong. It will perform for you. But the bigger the budget, it's just the better, assuming everything else is optimized.
Yeah.
Assuming everything is optimized, the bigger the budget, the better, because you're able to get more data quicker. And it's like, because I mean, even we've been through that of like, I first started running ads and it's like, hey, I'm spending $10 a day. Like, what's going on, And it's like, in the grand scheme of things, like that's not a lot. That doesn't get you a lot of traction. If that, but it's like, it just doesn't get you enough traction. So let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and move over to the more important parts of the NBA. Let's talk about this real quick. So on this one, the Suns, as of this recording, the Suns are eliminated from the playoffs. CP3, I saw a stat that CP3 that's his 5th time blowing a 2-0 series lead in his career.
So who's worse though, Harden or
that's a good one.
They both haven't.
Yeah, that's true.
To what people expected, and I'm a Harden fan.
Yeah, but Harden has always put up those crazy. Harden has been more sensational though. Like, I think. I give
it to Harden, but
I think grand scheme of things, Harden is like,
and he's been to the finals.
Has a better repertoire than CP3, but CP3. You think Harden will go into the Hall of Fame? Like CP3 is going to go into the Hall of Fame for sure, 100% he will.
But why? I don't know basketball that well to really give a good argument. But like, is he that good?
Yeah, he is.
He's good.
He's good. Yeah,
but what
has
he done? Like,
well, he's took a couple of teams to the. Like they all become contenders once he gets on there, and he just has a lot of stats and assists and
that's true,
and all that. And
he's good. He's very good, but I don't know. I would assume Harden would be in the Hall of Fame too, but they both feel like kind of like, okay, we can let them in now. It's not like, oh yeah, you're for sure in.
Do you think? Well, I'm saying, like, do you think this is like his last time, his last chance to get to the finals? Do you think he's gonna make it to the finals again next season?
I mean, if
He was one series away from the Western Conference. Like, you think he'll get that far again?
one
Well,
hamstring.
oh yeah, well, literally one series,
That
one
would have
game.
been
Yeah,
James and Harden.
Yeah.
and they would have rewrote the damn book. But I mean, I think so. He's not that much. He is old, but
He's old. He's like 34.
older, but he's not like he has to be on a like everything. Like he has to be on a team where it's not him.
Oh, like he's more of
the like when Jason Kidd won with Dallas. Like he was on the Mavericks, but Jason Kidd, that was past his era. But they beat the Heat. That was a good series. I don't remember that. It was good.
Okay, so Mavs and Warriors right now. The Warriors lead the series 3-0. You think they get blown out?
Yeah, they're done, dude.
They're done.
Mavs are done. Poor Luka. That dude's cold.
That was cold. He's 22 years old or 21.
Yeah.
Luka special.
He ain't even from USA. He said, I'm gonna come hoop y'all. I'm gonna coop all y'all up.
So you get that to the Warriors now?
I mean,
Since they're up 3-0?
Yeah.
Or they blow it again against like the Cleveland. I would like to see them at least win one game. But Luka, like, you can't hate him, the guy. Like, even when he got posterized by when he got it just happened recently. But even on post game interview, he's like, man, that was badass. Like, I wish I could jump that high.
You mean Wiggins?
Oh yeah, on Wiggins.
It was called an offensive foul.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Oh.
but he made.
Yeah. But even Luka was. Like, you saw what he said.
No.
But just real nonchalant, like real laid back. He was like, man, that was cool, man. Like, I wish I had those bunnies. That was badass. Like, props to him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. Like, very, like, you can't hate the guy. Wait, you kind of disliked him for a bit because he always laughed. Remember?
Luka?
Mm-hmm. That was him. Yeah.
What talking about?
Luka, like, remember when they'd be lose or like he'd lose a ball? You're like, why are you laughing? Like, you're not supposed to laugh about that.
That was Dwight Howard.
Nah, dude, that was him. That was Luka.
Oh, and Carmelo.
When you're like, I don't like them laughing. Like, I don't
laugh.
I don't like. Oh, actually, that's true.
Luka's not. He's serious.
No, he's.
I don't like Damian Lillard types. Like I like the very
serious. Very
like
serious.
Don't celebrate until there's a reason to celebrate. Like
That's
Carmelo,
right.
he during the game he's all smiling and stuff like I don't like that. Dwight Howard does that.
That's crazy because all those players are like on their way out.
Yeah, it sucks.
Carmelo.
It's painful.
Whoa.
That's why
They're out. They're going out. Yeah, Carmelo. He's basically.
That's why when Tom Brady came back.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, hey, we're holding on to that youth.
What I do like is PJ Tucker making it to the finals because he's a Houston boy. So it's like that's like that. You saw what Jimmy Butler said about him?
No.
That he was like the big reason why we're still winning is because of PJ Tucker.
Why?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I don't know. He got the. But everyone comments on like his fierceness, on his like just like that get after the ball mentality. Yeah.
No, he's cool. I root for him.
Yeah. So who do you think will meet in the finals then?
So it's gonna be Warriors Heat.
Yeah. Well, no. Who's the? Oh yeah, because
That's it. There's no more.
Wait, was this Western Conference?
Yeah.
Oh, it was the Western Conference. Those are the last two teams.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember. I was thinking they had one more series left.
I mean the finals.
No, this is the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Oh dang, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, because it's only Celtics, Miami, and then Warriors, Mavs. Oh yeah.
Wait, did Miami hasn't won yet?
Yeah, they're up 2-1 in the series. with
Okay,
Celtics.
well, basically, my biased opinion is Miami wins everything, and that's why the Sixers lost, aka why Harden didn't win because he lost to the champions. You know, it's like he always loses to the champions of the league. You know,
the story makes sense when you look at he lost to the guys that won it all. Okay, I get you. Yeah. I would like to see the Warriors and the Heat, and then Heat take it. My boy PJ Tucker's over there. Dog.
But I think it's interesting.
Oh dang. How much time do we have left? I think it's about to turn off.
Wrap it up.
Oh, okay. Well, we have 40 seconds left, so I'm gonna end it right here. Actually, Caesar, thank you very much for coming on to this first podcast episode.
Thank you for having me. I'm like,
if you guys are interested in the downloading the ultimate guide to start your detailing business, you want to check out the Proper Gear channel. That's where I talk and teach everything detailing related. You can check that all in the show notes down below, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can check the video description box down below. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to everyone on the next one. Bye-bye.